Welcome. I'm very happy to be back and to create another video. It has been quite a while, and in today's video we will be having a short video on how to get started with the XRPL4J, so the XRPL for Java API or package. For the new versions, I haven't, so I've been absent for quite a while, so obviously a lot has changed. The last APIs I've been using have been, I think, 2.8.1 or 3.0. In this case, we're right now at 5.0.0 with all the changes also the XML ledger has experienced. So yeah, let's dive right in. So the first part, so in my case, I am going to be using IntelliJS IDE. Obviously, you can use whatever you want. And yeah, let's dive right in. So the first part I'm going to be doing is I'm going to create a new project. The project I'm just going to call XRPL4J-YouTube. And I'm going to, as build system, I'm going to be choosing Maven. We don't need the sample code. We're just going to create it ourselves. And then we're going to click on create. So the first thing we're going to be doing is great. This is already a good start. That I might have made a mistake. Okay, never mind. I just did it again. So let's try to do it with the sample code. Maybe that works. Okay, yeah, it needs the sample code. So yes, please select sample code if you're using IntelliJ. If you're using Eclipse or NetBeans or whatever, then it might work differently. In my case, I'm going to be also throwing out all the sample code right there. So nevertheless, right, so now it's gone. Now we've just got a plain a plain main class and a main method, so nothing too fancy. I'm also going to change the viewing mode to the presentation mode so it's easier viewable. View appearance and the presentation mode. So right, so yeah, let's get started then. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hop into our POM file, and then we're going to have a quick check with, in this case, where is it? On the GitHub page, and there is one part, so the dependency management block. We're just going to copy that and then jump back to IntelliJ. So, and we're going to paste it right after the properties, and there it is. And then we have to insert here the second part, and the second part here is that one here. We'll just copy it, or we can also click on copy there. And then we're going to paste it. We just have to remove the dots, meaning obviously these are your other dependencies you might have for your project, but these two are the ones we need. And then we're going to click on the Sync Maven button here. Works differently for different IDs. And then we're going to hop back to the main method. So what we're going to be needing here, I'm also minimize it here. All right. So the first thing we're going to be needing is a seed. So we're just going to create a new seed. Seed equals seed dots, and we can either say ed25519 seed. Then it's going to create this random seed, but this is not suitable since after running application once and restarting, it's going to create a new seed, and you might want to use the same address. So in my case, I'm going to be saying from base 58 encode a secret, and then we're going to be saying base 58 encode a secret off, and then here we can place a string, and the string we're going to be placing is the family seed. So you can just go to the website xrpdev.com. I'm also going to be opening it here on the screen with you. And if we have a look at xrpdev.com, we can now just move a certain way and also just paste some stuff. And at some point, it's going to generate us an address we're going to be using. So right now, we can see here, well, it created as a family seed. I'm going to be copying this one and moving that back to the other screen. And now I'm going to paste it right there. And only that part. So, and then I'm going to add the command. And after having the seed, now we can say seed.derive key pair. So from the seed, we can derive infinite key pairs, or or well, I think whatever 2.42 million, whatever billion. But nevertheless, I think it's always 0 as default. So we're just gonna say derive key pair, and the return type of key pair is derived key pair is obviously a key pair, as you can see here. So we're gonna be saying key pair equals, and then also we have to import it. So after having the key pair, as we know, a key pair, since it's a pair, consists of two things, and it consists of the private key and the public key. And now we can also access those. So we're going to just say key pair to private key, and then on the left side again, private key equals, and whatever, right? And we're going to import that. And the second part we've got there is the public key. So public key so we can now just let the AI help me, and that's the same part there, right? So now we've got the private key, the public key, and from the public key we can derive the address format we are all familiar with. And I'm going to be saying just address, but obviously the correct one. So this one here, address equals, and then public key dot derive address. And now we've got our address. So now I'm just going to do a quick system out println and then address. And after having, well, 2, 4, 6 commands there, we're already ready to start to do the first run. We're just going to say right click and run main. And as we can see here, we've got RA8 whatever. And now we're just going to compare it to the paper world if this matches, because otherwise we made a mistake. But in this case, we can see here the public address RA8N whatever, ending with AQF, similar, so it's obviously here the same, meaning that this works. And now we can generate a seed from a family seed, and then obviously use it. So when I start again, obviously it's going to still work. Okay, so we already started, well, we already got started here there, and now we are going to use the testnet, since we don't want to use real funds. And so we can also, so the address there, and it's the address, right. So now we're going to be funding the account. So obviously one thing we're going to do beforehand is we're going to copy this address, and then we're going to go to website test.bithome.com. And then we're just gonna go, so right, test.bithome.com, and then we're gonna paste this address we just generated. And then we're gonna have a quick look, and as we can see, this one here is empty. There's 0 XRP in it, and now the question is obviously, how do we get XRP? And there is a tester faucet we're gonna be using, or there's also a command we're gonna be using. So this is probably faster. So I just have to check one more time, because I'm not using it that often. So XRPL4J, there's a certain faucet transaction we can trigger. So if you just have a quick look again, now I just have to go to the next screen again. So almost there. Right there probably. Nope. So let's try it again. So here we're just gonna go XRPL faucet. So there's 4J, I guess, because there is just a small code we can use to fund it, and there it was right there. So this part there, this small code chunk, we can write it also together. So just do the imports there. So it is faucet client equals faucet client.construct, then the HTTP URL.get, and then there is an address. And then again we have to import, and now it wants a classic address, and this is the address we defined here. So we're going to pass it this address, this testing message. We can also do funded account, and then there it is, well, plus the address, I guess. We can also add the address. Okay, and that's already it. We can also package that quickly. So if we just select and say extract and package it into a method, so fund address, so we can now just use this method there, and yeah, pass over the address. And then we're just gonna click on start again. So now we didn't change a lot. So the first part obviously stayed the same. The only part we did is this calling this method containing these 3 commands. And now we're gonna have a quick look at the testnet Bithome, so Bithome testnet again. And now we're gonna copy the address again we have, so the RA8. And then we're gonna check if there are now funds available on the testnet. So now again, testnet, there it is. This is the faucet even, there, right? And now we're gonna paste it, so we can also make it bigger, and then click on search. We can now see I've got 9 XRP available because we just got 10 XRP sent to us, but obviously 1 XRP is reserved, and the other 9 are available to be sent. And then we can do this again. So if we again click on play, then we can check again if new funds have arrived. So if we just do a refresh there, we can see nothing happening yet, but in a few seconds probably we will get another batch of 10 XRP. This is, yeah, so okay, let's wait a few seconds. Okay, there it is. So there are the next 10 XP. Now our account is funded and we are ready to actually do some transactions. But this is everything for today's video. It's not a lot, so you can see here a few commands there and then one method call. And this is the first step, so the first video of getting ready to get started with doing actual transactions. So what did we do today? We imported a seed from a family seed, then we derived the address, and then also funded the account. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.